But when you think of Toorak, you think tradition and prestige. You wouldn't necessarily think you're going to see a home that's going to break any kind of boundaries. But this next house is an absolute masterpiece.
Hi, Bessie. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. When I knew that I was seeing you today, I knew that I wasn't going to see a normal house. I wasn't wrong.
You won't.
So I couldn't help but notice JARtB house.
Yeah, JARtB house.
Yep.
It's actually the initials of our family, Georgia,
Yes.
Alexia, Rosalba, Billy, Art House.
I can tell this is an extension of you guys and your family.
Yes, it's definitely an extension of us and all
Yep.
our ideas and aspirations for 14 years since we had our first child. The house is really about reconnecting art and architecture as one discipline. So it's in the 21st century, we consider these things as separate things. A lot of people don't realise that architects are really artists, and the whole house is really a play on that idea, but also incorporating the love of architecture and art that I have into one thing in the family home. This house is a Neo-baroque home, so we took the principles of Baroque architecture and we translated them in a contemporary language. So we've tried to incorporate some of these ideas, and not in a literal way, but in a contemporary way, into the house.
Yeah.
So what you'll see in the house with this beautiful, ostentatious, big staircase facade and this big porthole is really what people were doing 500 years ago, but we're doing it today in a more contemporary way. So Baroque was the period that appealed to me most because it fused all the arts, sculpture, painting, all of it was sort of captured in the architecture, and it also broke a lot of the rules. So all the symmetry that you find in Renaissance architecture was basically removed in Baroque, and they broke all the rules, and that was really interesting to me. And the fact that it incorporated and embraced all of the arts as one discipline was something very interesting. So this is what we're trying to do here.
What is the mural on the facade?
So the mural is actually 13 murals done by this amazing artist called Pichuavo.
Oh, yes.
And they're from Spain, and we saw their work about 4 years ago for another project that we're working on. And I love the fact that they're painting essentially Greek gods from 2,000 years ago in graffiti. And the murals are done in London, in Spain, in New York. And we contacted them and we were able to get the rights to use the work, and we've put it all around the facade. So it sort of goes hand in hand with the Baroque theme. So it's basically digi-glass, which is laminated glass with a film inside, and it has the artwork in there, and you can see it from the inside and the outside.
As I was walking in today, I nearly fell over, to be honest. One, because I was gobsmacked. This house is outstanding. But I was also trying to read the poetry that you've even got from the get-go of the house on the path.
The house has got a lot of the art that I've been collecting over the years and the art that I've done myself. I do a lot of poetry, I do a lot of sculpture, photography, and some of the other pieces are basically commissions that I've done from people from all around the world.
Billy, you've absolutely just pulled out all the stops. This is amazing. I love that theatre room downstairs. It's so refreshing, the colour.
It's a good space to sort of have a completely different experience, and also soundproof. Kids can go down there, we can go down there and experience something else other than being in the general house.
This is not a normal house that you just go and have a look at. You experience this house, don't you?
That's the idea. we try and make everything sensory and have a different experience in different rooms.
And also too, can't go past the little poker table on the corner.
Poker table, yes. We've been playing poker for 23 years with my friends, and that's
awesome.
purposely built for that.
Again, just you've made a house for you and your family.
Absolutely.
Such a representation of everything that you are.
Yes, absolutely.
So talk me through that great little guest bedroom that's tucked away on the side there.
So we are a family of four. We have a 4-bedroom home, but we don't need a spare bedroom. But my father-in-law built this house with me, so it's really, when he comes and stays, which he hasn't done yet, to go in that room.
Oh, tell me about that process of building the house for your father-in-law.
It was great, actually. He was the first one here and the last one out, so we're still friends. No, but it was a good experience. It was a great experience. My father-in-law's built lots of houses with me, lots of projects with me over the years, so to build my own home was quite a privilege, actually.
I love the idea. The moment I saw it, I knew that he was on something different. Knowing Billy the way I know, he's always got something different coming up. And I think that was the most difficult part about building the home, was to slow Billy down with new ideas, because we'd get into it, 3/4 through it, and he'd come up with another idea. But in all fairness, it worked out well.
You know, when you're an architect and you design a house for yourself, you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yes.
And if it gets a bit of attention and people see it, you know, it's there for warts and all. But as I said before, I think it's important to share ideas and just experience this with everyone else.
So we're in this space here, and again, I'm just absolutely floored. Going down that beautiful circular staircase really, again, has that circular theme, doesn't it?
Circular staircase was made out of 8mm rolled steel, and there's only 2 companies that I know of that can do it in Victoria. It was a mission to actually get the steel into the house. We had to crane it from the street into the house, and the guys who did a magnificent job. It was a very difficult detail to execute, actually.
What were the neighbours thinking?
We got a mixed review with the neighbours. By and large, most people love it and engage with the house. There's a few people who, you know, don't really respond well, but, you know, that's with everything.
It's really cool how many colours you can pick out of the natural timbers and the natural stones as well, isn't it?
And it's a challenge because, as you've seen in this house, there's lots of colour, and sometimes, you know, it can be a challenge because you have this collision of colour, but the idea is to pull strands and threads of all these materials that have a commonality about them.
Yeah.
And then that's how you execute, I suppose, how you curate everything.
Yes.
So a lot of the furniture that you see through here, my wife has put together over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And we're not allowed to touch or move.
That's okay. She's done a fantastic job, I'd be the same.
She has, yes. The white porcelain tiles that you see actually starts from the front of the house and goes all the way to the back.
Yeah.
That is actually the circulation space of the house, but ultimately is the art gallery. So the space that you use, that you go from one space to the other, is actually the art gallery itself. And that's where you'll find all the artwork through there. And the idea is that, again, it connects every room. So you'll start from the outside, you'll come into the house, and you'll end up outside again.
It's been such a great experience actually experiencing this house.
Thank you for coming. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, thank you. What are the plans? Where are you going after this one?
Well, my wife said to me that we're never doing this again, so I don't think we've got plans to do anything else after this. So I think we're here for a while.